Done with.
Dude, you've been done.
I'm still here.
For what? Why? Because you just want to be a asshole.
You're right.
Then why the would you be in this competition? Bone face.
Why do you look 50 and you're 24?
What? What did you say? Go yourself.
Would you rather have the brand new PS5 or a weekend with these three lovely ladies and you can do anything you want with them?
Wait, anything with them?
Like anything.
A whole weekend?
A whole weekend.
Damn, but the PS5 though, like it just.
I know.
Ah, damn, y'all beautiful though, but.
Hold on, what'd you say?
PS5 or us?
Oh, bro, y'all beautiful, but I had a PlayStation 4 for 4 years, but I need a PS5.
Oh, God.
My nigga.
Y'all, so this dude came in my DM yesterday. He was like, "You're pretty, I'm trying to get to know you." He literally sent me $1,000 just to get to know me. And y'all literally sit here and think I'm gonna get to know y'all for free when somebody just paid me $1K for him to get to know me? Be so for real.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Would you feel comfortable if your father was watching your OnlyFans and subscribing to it?
Probably not. No.
You would not feel comfortable, and I'll tell you why. That's because in your heart of hearts, in your soul, if you still got one, you know it's wrong. That's your work. In my work, if my mother consumed my work, I'd be thankful and pleased that she took an interest in my work and supported my work. If she bought my products, I'd be thankful. If your mother or father bought your products, you'd be disgusted and ashamed because you know what you're doing is wrong and the product of what you're doing is bad.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I got a question for you. Do you have car insurance?
100%. No reason.
All right. Do you have homeowners insurance?
100%.
Do you have life insurance?
100%.
Do you have medical insurance?
100%.
Did you get tired of your insurance agent talking about the possibilities of you losing your life and being rewarded? Hold on for a second. I know, but don't be a butt person. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have insurances. Although it's a very uncomfortable situation, and life insurance people who sell it tend to be scumbags. They tend to be looked at as scumbags, like, I don't want to have this conversation about me dying, but you surely will die. So you better have the conversation. The reality is, yes, it's a very tough conversation. I have to spend a lot of time talking about it. It's very difficult. However, it's
Yerp. Ooh, wee. I know y'all can hear me. I think y'all can. Maybe y'all can't. But either way. What's up, y'all? It's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. Oh yeah, so it's Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? We're getting closer to the weekend, so I appreciate everybody for tuning in. XUp Pro, my dog says, comes through, and he says, like, share, subscribe, Cash App, $ Cali West 1. Salute. So yeah, you know, so I'm gonna talk about something that's not really new news, but you know, it has to kind of, you know, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we all know Shannon Sharpe has been basically getting scraped over the coals, you know what I'm saying, about the fact that, you know, not only was he dating a younger white woman or younger Spanish, you know, woman, but, you know, he's also suspected for some SA, you know, which is, you know, really, really, really sad case for him.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
Now, with that being said, you know, I just have, you know, I think one of the main reasons why I made this video is because, you know, the Black community, you know, we tend to, I don't know if I can really say we, but I guess I'll say we. No, I mean, I still deal with the hood to some degree. Now, with that being said, what's ironic is, you know, this whole Shannon Sharpe situation, you know, there's a lot of men, especially a lot of Black men, you know, I would say Black men are probably impartial to this. You know, there are some men, you know, some Black men, you know, they're like, hey, you know, I want to see what's up, you know, hey, you know, I don't care about her age as far as she's legal, as long as she's legal of age, then there's really no problem. But then there's other brothers who have a problem with it. And, you know, and let's just be real, where does this come from? Because it's kind of crazy because, you know, I'm 45. So granted, there are men who are about my age who probably have kids, or maybe they have, you know, daughters who are maybe 19, 20. And, you know, the thought of, you know, their daughter dating someone their age, you know, might be a problem for them, you know. Now, with that being said, I mean, I don't really see what the problem is because it's not like you're dating your daughter, you know. You're not, as long as you're not dating your daughter or you're dating your daughter's friends, all is fair in love and war. Because let's just be real. If you were to say, okay, men should only look at women who are age appropriate, that means that all those OnlyFans models will be broke. That means all the models and, you know, celebrities and, you know, what's that? All the cheerleaders you see on basketball teams, you know, because I matter of fact, I heard this from Coach Greg Adams tonight, and it's true. Think about it. If you were to say, all right, we're just gonna go with age appropriate, men should only pay attention to age appropriate women. When I say age appropriate, I'm talking about within, I guess, a few years of the age of that man. So if he's 45, what, half his age plus 7? That's kind of a rule that's made in the Black community. Where that's from, why does that make any sense? I don't fucking know. But one thing I definitely want to say is the Black community tends to operate on hypocrisy. Like, for example, they'll Black people in the Black community, they seem like they only have a problem with a man dating a Black, you know, young Black woman, as if he's like on a straight and narrow. For some reason, like thugs don't get that smoke. And I might have told this story before here on YouTube, but I had a homegirl who was about 16 years old, and she was the first person I knew who had a Chevy Camaro, brand new. It wasn't no SS, but it was still a Camaro in high school. And who bought it for her? Her 53-year-old boyfriend, drug dealing boyfriend. Now, mind you, of course, he died, and she had to return the car back eventually. But just go figure, there's no way that a 60-year-old, no matter how fast she is, there's no way that a 60-year-old woman could hide a Chevy Camaro from her mother unless her mother was complicit in the whole situation.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
How about that? Now, you know, a lot of people, you know, probably tuning in, tuning out, probably gonna say, hey, you know, that's just what I'm saying, and, you know, I'm just making this up, blah, 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 blah. But just look at the situation, what happened with R. Kelly. Now, that was an extreme situation, but guess what? There's no way you could tell me that R. Kelly was going to those high schools to pick up those chicks. No, he had help from the parents. Now, with that being said, let's be real. Most of the women that we've known in high school or even college all dated older men. But what's ironic is, fast forward now 20 years later, now we're in a position to date younger women. Because let's be real, especially nowadays, man. Hey, man, we're in a monetized dating market. These younger women, they're looking with dudes who got ends. How many dudes got ends? The only dudes who got ends is, YNs with scammer money, but that's only temporary. And that's the thing. I'm gonna just say this right now. I know a couple of scammers. Sometimes their money be up, sometimes their money be down. So these chicks be needing some consistent dudes, man. And with the dating market how it is, who else is you think is supporting these chicks? So in reality, it's like on one end, men, especially black men in the community, we tend to, want to white knight, or we want to be, what's the word? We want to be, what's the word? We tend to virtue signal. Because let's just be real. Donovan Sharpe, he got caught up with that. Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe basically got caught up in that same thing. He was trying to tell Donna Rawlings about how he shouldn't have been dating a 23-year-old. Come to find out, Shannon Sharpe was basically raw dogging a 20-year-old. So, you see how people fucking lie, bro.
Emotional damage.
So with Shannon Sharpe getting caught up with the fact that he likes younger women too, that just kind of just goes to shed to the light that a lot of black men who say that they wouldn't date younger women, it's probably because they either can't or they don't want to admit it. Because Shannon Sharpe ridiculed and gave Donnell Rawlings a third degree behind dating a younger chick. Kind of find out he was dating a chick even younger than Donnell Rawlings. So, imagine that.
Some of y'all say he go too hard. It ain't that bad. Oh, yes, it is. Now you see. Now you see.
You have cooned so bad that they damn near need to put your face in the dictionary next to the word coon.
I'm going to hospitalize you coons because I care about you. The Dr. Papa Mental Health Hospital for coons.
Now, he out here looking goofy like a big mouth bass. But, I guess there's a lesson to be learned in this situation here. There's always life lessons. But, I just kind of feel like maybe if Shannon Sharpe wasn't, if he wasn't so ashamed of himself for being a regular human being and just being a man, maybe, he probably wouldn't be in this situation. Maybe he would have proceeded a little better. I don't know. But one thing I definitely do know is the fact that, Coach Greg Adams brought this up tonight. And you know what? And I did realize that too. I noticed that subconsciously, but I never consciously said anything. Now, because of this whole Shannon Sharpe situation, now the black community or black content creators are trying to push for this, get with black people type of deal, as if black women don't screw black men in child support court all the goddamn time, bro. All the time. Kimberly Reese says, "Hey, my Cali baby, LOL. Hey, my love. Thank you for tuning in." So yeah, so we're gonna have to go back, way back, to about, I'd say 2019, 2020. But essentially, what happened in 2019, 2020, it appears that that Sosa dude, Chief Keef, he essentially reportedly owed $500,000 in child support.
Really him. You're a victim. There we go, CSI.
Now, this happened in, let's see here, what, 2022? Now, listen to this. One of the reasons, and maybe this video might not get that many views, but what's ironic is the fact that, maybe people make a big deal about, a 53-year-old man shouldn't be dating a 20-year-old chick. But Chief Keef has been popular for quite some time. And nobody talked about how this chick basically was a predator on this 17-year-old dude. Now, I don't know if in Chicago 17 is an adult. But damn, what's crazy is that, I guess he probably did whatever he did because I guess he a thug, but she took advantage of him, whether he a thug or not. She took advantage of that man. And you would think that the black community would have said something to it. But guess what? The sisters in the community, the brothers in the community were straight quiet, bro. Straight quiet. They ain't had shit to say.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Now, it says Erica Early claims the rapper owes her $500,000. Says we learned a lot about Chief Keef through his child support battles. The Chicago rapper has been fighting his children's mothers in court for it seems forever. Back in 2013, it was reported that Keef refused to pay $300,000 in a month child support. He doesn't even seem to have gotten easier work because of the end of last year. Then it says Erica Early, one of his children's mother, was on a mission to get him in jail for ignoring his payments. Now she's making further claims by saying that in total, Keef kept $500,000 from her in child support payments, bruh. Talk about fucking trained apex predators, bruh.
What kind of shit is that?
Like this chick, she made sure she seen this dude a little blowing up, and this bitch couldn't get nobody else. So she made sure to go get knocked up by this dude. Now it says, according to Blast, a new legal document, or the documents at the time says, Early claimed that the rapper is in civil contempt for violating a court order. It says, let's see, is that since 2013, Keith's payments were up to over $10K per month, and he's still refusing to pay. The 43-year-old woman who has a daughter with a 23-year-old Keef is demanding that the artist appears in court to explain why he owes $500K in back payment, bro. Chief has previously admitted to having 9 children with 9 different mothers. Their hearing has been set. So, this might be the past or whatever, right? But just go figure. What's not the past is this ninja still motherfucking making these motherfucking child support payments, bro. You can't make this shit up. Shout out to Mr. Palmer and the Couch Gang, bro.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
So go figure. I mean, yeah, he's obviously living reckless. That's hands down. But does that mean that an older chick, I mean, if they're legal in the state, I guess she could do that. But if it was illegal in the state, why is she even able to collect child support? Why is she not in the bottomless swing jail? Just on the fact that, the legal documentation of the damn birth certificate. Like, what the fuck, bro? I don't get that shit. Like, I really don't get how this is going on.
What kind of shit is that?
Because that should be investigated. That's definitely some type of grooming type shit. There could be some grooming type shit. Like 37 and 17. Goddamn, girl. But, like I said, there's a lot of things that the black community accept. Like, for example, in that, I don't know if y'all remember that movie Juice, but Juice was, remember Q was dating I hate to bring up movies, but he was dating a nurse who worked like overnight. And guess what? You think audiences or people were talking shit about that movie about, that was basically statutory rape right there. And no one had shit to say.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
At the end of the day, unfortunately, black men were very disposable. So, I guess it's like, for example, it's like dudes be arguing on the internet and, online, social media, you even watch on, certain podcasts, people are arguing back and forth about this, whether, someone should be able to, a grown adult should be able to date a younger adult. Just because she's younger, just because she's like, or she could be, she's as old as your daughter means that you shouldn't date her because she's somehow magically your daughter. But what's ironic about that is, in this whole time when people are debating about this situation is going on all the time. Shoot. Remember the old ladies at the church used to be like, oh, you're handsome. You're my boyfriend. Remember they used to say that? Older women used to say that. Yo, can a man go to some young girl and put his arm around her and be like, oh, you're my girlfriend? Man, he would be fucking probably arrested on the motherfucking spot.
Emotional damage.
But guess what? This is shit that we've seen in the black community happen time and time again. And your parents will just sit down there and not say shit about it either.
So bullshit. All of it.
Shit crazy. So anyway, I'm done with my rant. You feel me? I'm about to throw on some little videos. I'm probably gonna make it an early night. And then what I'm gonna do is probably, we're gonna talk some bullshit, probably show some little videos. Then we're gonna shoot it all out because I got an early day tomorrow. Now, hey, we all know that, just because a woman's a little older woman doesn't mean that, doesn't mean that she still, ain't good to nobody or good to herself or good for anyone. But, you have to kind of take a perspective, I guess, when you deal with an older woman because, they might all look good, but does she really have time for you? Check this out. Age 46, mother of 4 kids, 30, 28, twins, 20.
Happy Wednesday to you, because I'm not going to play with you. I know what you're thinking. You thinking that. I ain't thinking nothing. What the hell? What the hell? I'm listening to the music the young man's.
And like I said, we're not going to sit down here and lie and say some of these older chicks don't be looking good. They do. But can a chick who had all those kids and probably damn near a grandmother, does she really got time to, to be with you and to co-sign to your to your program? Trust me, that type of chick right there, if you was to go tell her that, you want her to co-sign to your program, she's going to tell you that you got to go co-sign to her program.
It's an evil world we live in.
That's just, how they set up. When they get a little older, they stuck in their ways. You can't be, fooled just because, you see some sexy shit. Now, look at this lady shaming people. I'm not even going to say her name of her. Luckily, there's no name on this clip I'm showing. But look how she's trying to shame brother man.
Broad daylight is crazy work.
43. Are you single? Kind of, sort of, but not really. You know what I'm saying? I'm married to the game, brother. At your age, have you ever proposed to a woman before? Nah, I would never do that. If I ever thought about getting married, we gonna get a shaman or something and do a tribal ritual. I'm not signing no paperwork with the government with my money and my greatness.
But why do you as a man feel like marriage is a risk?
As a businessman, you know, you gotta go off the numbers. 60% of marriages end in divorce, and they always initiated by the woman, like 70%. So off those numbers alone, I would never jeopardize my greatness, my millions, my glory to that piece of paper.
So you don't marry a woman, but you're with her long term. What happens next?
I mean, we just living life. We gonna go with the flow. You know, if she want to move around, she can. I'm not holding nobody hostage. You know what I'm saying? See, that what happens. That's like the click cage somebody in when they get that paperwork.
She want to put that pussy on me, put it on me.
Now, yo, you know this old girl had to go make sure that she took a shot at the man. She had to make sure she took a shot at the man. But, baby girl, who told you that you was cute?
Perfect.
I mean, my bad. What I meant to say was, who told you that you're cute? Baby girl, you got this baseball hat. You got this fucking sweater all zipped up to your neck. That is not attractive. Baby girl, that ain't attractive at all, baby girl. Nah, bro. Nah.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Got the nerve to have jokes. Preach, brother, preach.
Complaining about marriage, that means you already passed your prime.
Now, I wouldn't dare take the credit for that carrot comment. It actually came from Richie Brave. And he said, 43, dressed like a carrot and married to the game. The carrot emoji. Okay, so that walking carrot goes by the name of Mr. Organic. And apparently, allegedly, he has a clothing brand and it's worth millions, according to him. But I don't really care about that. I want to get to the comments. Now, somebody by the name of Black Lex Luthor said, pro tip, fellas, the ultimate flex is being married to a cutie, effeminate, submissive, and agreeable woman and taking care of a family. It's the pinnacle of manhood because it.
You know what? We don't even give a fuck what this bitch got to say. Because bitches just saying some goofy shit. Do you notice that when she found out who he was, look, she was talking shit about his outfit or whatever. I mean, orange is not really my color. But that has nothing, that's neither here nor there. He's from Miami. Or he living in Miami. That's Brickell. So orange is synonymous with Miami. Now, what's ironic is, you know, she's tired, what's ironic is, did she dispute anything that he said? All she did was just use shaming tactics and some dude's goofy ass rebuttal about what he's flexing. That same dude probably was talking about being married and being with the cutie and all that bullshit. He's probably not even married himself. Now, you know, someone went to this picture and he started talking about his accomplishments and about how he had money. And she said she don't care about that. Bitch, the only reason why you don't care about that is because you can't get none of that. Because, bitch, you don't qualify. Let's just be real. You don't fucking qualify. Amen. Because the man basically said that your ass would never compete. Even if you did dress up.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
They can't handle the truth. Because I would think that's pretty important. I would think it's pretty important to know, you know, what his career is, and, you know, his financial worth. I mean, shit, I might not show that he's somebody to maybe even kind of, you know, hear out. But guess what? Before someone want to learn a little bit more, they just want to attack the messenger versus the message. Nowhere did she prove anything that he said wrong. She was attacking him, which is crazy, bro. Which is crazy.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that?
Can't follow them up. Now, I seen this clip. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this. Check this out.
Sitting there and I saw it and I smiled and I cried and I smiled and I texted my mama, then I texted my sister.
Bro, first check I ever saw was $588,000. I was sitting in my Dodge Ram 1500, sitting there, and I saw it, and I smiled, and I cried, and I smiled, and I texted my mama, then I texted my sister. Bro, I cried. Nobody in my family's ever made this much money in their life, and it was what was Wells Fargo before Wachovia? And it was a.
His story long-winded, but essentially what he was basically saying is that essentially, I'll let him get to it.
Looked up in about 3 months. He never looked up. I slid that $588,000 under that window. I said, I like to deposit this, man. She still didn't look up. She looked at that check. Put it in this account or this account. Yeah. I said, well, we can put a little in your account, but you know, I had to work there because I saw, and you
know. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Money, the great equalizer. How can we make the impossible possible? Shout out to Coco.
So I saw how fake she was. We dated for about 3 months. Yeah. She was bad.
This before you was married, right?
That was way before I was married. I got married. Yeah, that was my rookie year.
Where is she at now?
So I don't know. I hope she's failing.
Why it didn't work out?
I knew what she was about. When I say date, I mean call it one.
Did he say he hoped that she was failing, bro?
This is a sick Negro.
Bruh. Don't be petty, bruh. I don't believe he was that petty. Somebody he hopes she failed.
See what's going on that night.
Hell nah. Hell nah.
But shh, don't tell nobody.
Yo, once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Catch me on the replay. Once again, it's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm out of here. Cali West. Go.